Kentucky news. October 10th, 2013, Kentucky Kingdom is up and running, right? They got the old wooden coasters still going. And LaGrange, there's some gang activity. The LaGrange police officers, in order to be anti-gang, ganged up on the house of the gang who had done nothing, but the police thought they was going to do something. And so they use a preemptive strike, which I've actually heard people in Florida using as an argument, a preemptive strike. I thought he was going to hit me, so therefore I had to do something. So, let's see. I was actually reading, let's see, the Kappa, this timeline of Kappa, Louisville Peace. Use of force on March 26th by the Louisville Police explored for 3 days, and the Courier-Journal revealed that the police engaged in force against citizens, sometimes brutal and inhumane, more often than people know. Police have not been filing use of force reports every time they use any kind of force. From 1996 to 1999, there were 848 use of force reports filed by officers. In reality, more than half aren't reported by the police. So for 3 years, they only had 900 incidents. Of the 848 incidences of force used by police, 506, 60% were against blacks, even though they only make up 33% of the population. So 60% of them was against, and that's 33 for the greater Louisville. With I've seen 22% being black population in greater Louisville. Actually, greater Louisville, there's less black folks. So 60% of the instances of use of force are against black folks. So that's, clearly that's twice the rate of the population, so it's disproportionate. System monitors officers' use of force, reports incredibly flawed. Abusive conduct by the officers is favored over the citizens who complained. Officers are rarely punished. Of the 79 people who filed complaints that police use excessive force, 78 were rejected by the police command. People are discouraged from filing complaints. The use of force policy is vague and gives leeway to cops. And those are just some of the facts. So out of 3 years, 96 to 99, and the Courier-Journal reported, you're right, in the March issue, March 26th. And they said that 78 of the 79 complaints against the police for force were thrown out. 78 of 79. So basically, you put a complaint into the LMPD, they laugh at you. I remember going to the complaint. They took my complaint, but they were mean. The secretary, she was so shitty. Sign this and no thank you, no small talk. Just do as I fucking say, because I'm a psycho and I have police all around me. What you gonna do? Argue against me? Right, so I sat, did what she wanted to do as I'm leaving. Hey, don't forget to sign out. All right, there, I signed out. There, I signed in, I signed out. Can we talk? Can we be friends now or not? I guess since I'm doing what you say, I'm complying with you. That's when people don't like you when you comply, because it's anti-human, right? To comply to somebody's orders. Nobody should be ordering anybody around. The asshole that's doing the orders, either he's paying everybody money, right, so that justifies him giving orders, or he's just a bossy bitch who just wants the power and wants to boss everybody around just because he loves the power. And just because you love power, that don't make you a good leader. In fact, it's probably the exact opposite. If you just love power, you probably aren't going to be a good leader. So, March 28, Kappa members attended State Reps Paul Bather's forum on the Shawnee Golf Course Clubhouse about his request to the U.S. Justice Department to investigate the Louisville Police Department. So Paul Bather, State Representative Paul Bather, is getting the Justice Department in on this. So good for Paul Bather, State Representative. Ricky Jones of the Black Radical Congress and Dana McDuffie of the Families Against Mandatory Minimums spoke. Also Blaine Hudson spoke at the police brutality teach-in. April 3rd, Mayor Armstrong announced that he will improve police training and accountability, and the police need to take every complaint seriously. Public Safety Director Ron Ricucci announced that 18 Louisville police commanders, some of whom walked off the job just weeks earlier, and 2 outside candidates applied for the new police chief position. Courier-Journal reported the arrests by Louisville police were down by more than half in the month following the firing of Chief Sherrard. The police seemingly staged the protest by not making as many arrests, or did they over-arrest citizens the year before? In March 1999, they arrested 28 100 people, 2,806 people. In March 2000, they arrested half, or way under half, 1,237. The Louisville Police Department announced that officers will be required to fill out a use of force report every time they charge someone with resisting arrest, which makes sense. Resisting arrest, why? Because you was using force? Yes. If you're using force, then if you charge somebody with resisting arrest, you're using force. It will make a more use of any, like I said, it should be a public, citizen-controlled complaint authority. It should be a citizen complaint authority. They did it in Cincinnati after the 2001 riots. After the riots, they got a black mayor, and they got the citizen complaint board to check the police, anytime they try to do anything. So that happened after the riots. They got a black mayor, and they got they changed the structure of the way the police are run. There's a citizen review board. There's a citizen complaint board that you can go to, and it's run by citizens who check into police brutality cases. So Kappa staged a late-night sit-in at City Hall outside the mayor's office after weeks of trying to get a meeting with the mayor. Kappa tried to get a meeting with him to discuss the need for a civilian police review board, a community-oriented policing program, and the need to hire a police chief from outside the ranks of the Louisville Police Department. He agreed to meet with 3 of our members and only 1 at a time. We refused. He later agreed to our conditions. Kappa spoke to Mayor Armstrong's One Louisville Commission about police brutality and the drug war. Kappa organized a protest at the Pegasus Parade during Derby Week. We created an 11-foot-tall puppet of a victim of police brutality, which drew a lot of attention. Kappa participated in an Oaks Day rally in which Al Sharpton and Dick Gregory were present at Memorial Park. This is part of a series of activities. So, May 20th, the Ku Klux Klan had a rally in downtown Louisville in support of Police Chief Sherrard. A small group was met by hundreds of anti-KKK citizens. So, yeah, the KKK loves the Police Chief Sherrard. They love the people that kill black people. Of course, the Ku Klux Klan, that's probably the worst. I'm glad, actually, I pointed out the comparison between the police protesting and the Klan, because now the Klan is out there protesting the firing of this black murderer, the police chief who was over Desmond Rudolph. So yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. May 20th, the Klan decides to show up, and that's horrible support because it shows the white supremacists are clearly on that side. So are they right or wrong? Sometimes you can say police are neutral, maybe they're good, maybe they're bad, but when the Klan is defending the police, isn't it about time to check what you're doing? The police, they protested 3 times. They started marching 3 times. They started marching. And now the Klan's out marching, right? They saw the police out there, they saw themselves basically, and they was like, damn, our boys are starting the party without us. So then the Klan joined in. And May 20th, 1999, you got the Klan walking up the Louisville streets, saying, ha ha ha, we're the Klan, we're a bunch of dicks. Kappa representatives had a meeting with Mayor Armstrong to present a proposal for a community-oriented policing program to ask him to reconsider his veto of civilian review and choose a chief from outside the ranks of the Louisville Police Department. A new police chief was appointed, Greg Smith, from the LMPD. Fire Chief Sherrard became assistant commander of Metro Narcotics in April. Smith was commander of it 94 to 97. The Louisville Board of Aldermen voted to override the mayor's veto of a civilian police review. So they overread it. The Louisville Board of Aldermen overread the civilian police. The Fraternal Order of Police filed a lawsuit seeking an injunction to block the civilian police review ordinance. And it's been held up in court ever since. So the Louisville Board of Aldermen in June 13, 1999 voted to override the mayor's veto of a civilian police review. Civilian police review. That's exactly what we need. Louisville needs a civilian police review. Kappa released a statement calling on the LPD to revise its use of force policy to prevent other police killings. A racial profiling study was launched by the state to determine if police departments in Kentucky engaged in racial profiling. Louisville and Jefferson County Police did not participate, claiming they don't have a problem. So there it is, Frankfurt did a study, and they said, hey, there's nothing going on here, right? The state, which is Started out with bloody genocide, lynchings all over the place, strange fruit hanging everywhere, usually by white woman who says that she was raped when she was actually the one raping him. That's Kentucky. We didn't pass the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments until 1976. So, you know, the Civil War amendments, the amendments that made slavery illegal, we didn't pass them until 1976. So that, you know, that's Kentucky. We got a long tradition of racial totalitarian dictatorship here. Lots of institutional structural racism that's still present in Kentucky. So that's not a shock to me that the state found nothing. Just by the complaints. I mean, by the complaints, 78 of 79 complaints were thrown out, and then of the ones that they use of force, 60% of them were black folks. You know, like, it's good that they wrote the use of force out so that there were some numbers there, but they're not documenting every time they have a use of force. The police, man, they're dirty. They're dirty. They do whatever they can do in order to, you know, to get away with. They'll do whatever they can in order to get away with doing anything they want to do. There's more. Drug roadblocks were ruled illegal by the U.S. Supreme Court. It reaffirmed the Fourth Amendment. So you can't just search everybody for drugs. November 29th, 1999. Drug roadblocks. There are checkpoints. I've been seeing people checkpoints and maybe doing breathalyzer tests and shit. Actually, I saw a guy on LiveLeak who refused a breathalyzer at a checkpoint and drove off, and then they just beat the shit out of him. Robert Abernathy's killers, 4 officers, were not indicted by a Jefferson grand jury on November 29th. The mayor and police chief announced that city police officers will start recording the race and sex of every driver they stop starting January 1st. They all announced a new policy that prohibits officers from using race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, religion, socioeconomic status, and disability of a person as the sole reason for stopping a vehicle. So that's, you know, that's insane. You have the Barnes murder trial, who Adrian Reynolds was killed. So there's some other names, Adrian Reynolds, and then there's Robert Abernathy. And Robert Abernathy, he got more money than Desmond Rudolph, and he got more money than Michael Newby. He got, you know, $600,000. The victims or his families did. They got $600,000. Murder trial, Timothy Barnes, accused of killing Adrian Reynolds in jail, started in Lexington. So Lexington has their own, you know, Furmans, right? Steve Furman, Tom Furman, I don't know, Mark Furman. They have their own Mark Furmans, or Kramers. So the Jefferson County Police Department announced that county police officers will start recording the race of every driver and pedestrian. I already said this. Robert Abernathy's killing by police, 4 police officers ruled homicide by a Jefferson County coroner's jury. So, you know, this other issue is coming up now. Robert Abernathy was killed. January 9th, Clifford Lewis, 18 years old, was killed by detectives of the Undercover Street Crimes Unit. They pulled into a parking lot behind the van he was driving into an unmarked sport utility vehicle. The plainclothes officers approached him with guns drawn, thinking he was someone else. And according to witnesses, no warning was given. Officers shot at Lewis. The car rolled across the street, hitting a house. Officers fired at the driver again, claiming that he was reaching for his waistband, which they could somehow see from outside the van. Lewis had no gun, but was struck by 5 bullets that came from different angles. Courier-Journal reported that Detective Johann Stimley, the principal or only shooter, and the other 6 detectives who were there all had previous use of force reports in their files. So Detective Johann Stimley, so Johann, that's a German name, Stimley, probably German too. Clifford Lewis was killed. I mean, they're murdering these kids. Clifford Lewis, 18 years old, by detectives of the undercover. So they're undercover. They might not even know who they were. They could have just been shot in cold blood. We have no idea. It says the plainclothes officers approached him with guns drawn, thinking he was someone else, and no warning was given. This is fucked up. Kappa organized a protest outside City Hall in regards to recent shootings and the lack of changes to the culture of the police department. January 15th, 2000, Kappa participated in a march of over 500 people to police headquarters to protest police shootings. March 10th, Kappa members lobbied state legislatures. Racial profiling bill passed unanimously through the House, Senate, Kentucky state legislature. Requires local police departments to have a policy banning any type of racial, sexual, socioeconomic, disability, age, any type of discrimination, right? You can't pull over anybody just because of their appearance. You know.